Episode 228. We're just about ready to enter the patch 3.2 story quests. Seems like we got through patch 3.1 relatively quickly. I think we're settling into a pattern of going into the story quests and the dungeons and the raid that's in every patch quest, or rather in every patch. Although that pattern is going to become a bit more streamlined as we get into the later expansions when the new dungeons become part of the patch quests, and they stop releasing hard mode dungeons. Of course, that's always going to be interrupted by things like society quests every now and again, and other things like, well, whatever gimmick they might have done in a particular expansion. In fact, we've got one coming up for this expansion, or rather, for this area, which was actually released in a later expansion, but seems like a good idea to start it while I'm here in Ishgard. But that'll be in the next patch, I think. For now, we've got a job to do. I don't actually remember what job we had to do, though. We've been sidetracked by doing the round so much that I've, and Komori by extension, completely forgotten what we're doing in the main story. What we last do? I know there was that whole scene with Urianger and the Warriors of Darkness, I think. And before that, we had us here in Ishgard with the dragons. Much as I worry for the future of Ishgard, the fate of our missing friends concerns me even more. Right. Well, we know what happened, we the viewer, the player, whatever. From cutscenes know what happened to Ida and Papalymo. And I think I actually know what we're getting into now, so yeah. There's one more thing, one more missing member unaccounted for. Or actually, a few of them. Like these ones, right. Very important characters, these. Hoy Boulder, Coltonet, maybe Coltonet, not sure. And of course, Philomene. Alfie note, Komori, I've been looking all over for you. We've received news regarding Philomene, Hoy Boulder, and Coltonet. Or Coltonet. I'm pretty sure it's Coltonet. Coltonet sounds... well, I don't know. I don't know what sounds right in ye olde tongue or whatever. Really? Has something happened? No, it's nothing bad. Quite the opposite, in fact. It seems that once they learned the Scion's good name has been restored, they boarded the next ship bound for Limsa. That was kind of a while ago. Back during Heavensward, in fact. Kind of like at the very beginning, even. They should be arriving any moment now. It's easy to forget how useful link pulls are, isn't it? When they work, I mean. And you don't mind being spied on. Right. I feel like they had to add in this line just because link pearls, well, it feels like we kind of abandoned using them for some parts of the story just because of, well, we didn't want characters to always be in communication with each other 100% of the time, especially during the time when we were on the run from the law or whatever. So this one kind of says, we're using link pearls now because we're accepting these risks or whatever. Now that we don't have to worry about those risks that much. But it's also like, well, it feels like a concession from the writers saying, yeah, we know link pearls are something that are underutilized, so we're just saying this as a, not a retcon, but a hand wave or something. I don't know. That's just what it feels like to me. Now, if only they could do something about teleporting. I mean, I guess they do that with anima, but that's neither here nor there. Quite. But what wonderful news. To think that our reunion is close at hand. And it started snowing. I've been sitting here talking too long. A pleasure to see you too, Alfinode. Ah, Thancred and Cryle. What brings the two of you here? Cryle and I have been looking into how we might track down Infilia. And we may have just found the answer. Komoy, when you were fleeing Uldar with Minfilia, you said that Hydaelyn spoke to her shortly before you parted ways, yes? Well, assuming that is true, and I see no reason to suspect that it is not, it seems reasonable to conclude that Hydaelyn commanded her to remain behind. That is to say, the Mother Crystal directly interceded to guide Minfilia. Admittedly, this is all still quite hypothetical, but I propose that such intervention, however subtle, must surely leave some residual trace. A lingering disturbance in the ether, or ripple, if you will. Feels like it's kind of the same thing that we were talking about with tracking down Urianger, or rather, tracking down Ishtola and Thancred with Urianger, the whole etheric trail. But I guess it's like a different kind of ether, whatever. In order to establish the existence of such ripples, of course, we will require suitable data. Fortunately, I know where such data can be found. The battleground where Komoy felled the Ultima weapon, and the site of my personal ignominy. 'Twas there that Hydaelyn intervened to shield her from the magic that I invoked. Graal and I will infiltrate the castrum and analyze the ether therein. The two of you? Alone? What's left of the castrum now? Isn't it just like a crater because of the huge explosion or something? Well, I guess that was kind of off to the side. I have a proven knack for subterfuge, and I'm confident there will be sufficient nooks and crannies in which to hide Graal while the patrols pass. Yeah, you could just kinda stuff her in your pocket, she's so small. Sorry, we can say that because we're 1 inch taller than Graal. Besides, if you and Komoy come along, we will see to Philomene's grand homecoming. When you put it like that, very well. I will trust in your plan. I know not whether this data will yield a means to find Minfilia, but it will at the very least, eliminate another avenue of inquiry. Tataro and I will return to the Rising Stones, and make preparations for our comrade's return. Might I impose upon you to meet them at the Lumenson docks? Then I shall see the 4 of you at the Rising Stones. Safe travels. So has Thancred told the rest of the party yet that he can't use magic? Like after the whole deal in Uldar? How his little travel in the ether cancelled out his ability to use magic? Ishtola clued us in on that, but I don't think she wanted us to tell anyone else yet. Komoy can't imagine Thancred's position. Losing magic after the banquet could never happen to her. Only a chump loses their magic. Oh, they're already here. Well, that was fast. That was a lot easier than finding Thancred. Is it? By the gods, it is you. Well met, Komoy, well met. If it isn't Komoy Moriko, really, you didn't have to come all this way just for us. Well, Alphinaud imposed on us, so we had to. Oh, Komoy, how have you been? Come here, let me have a good look at you. Sure, Mom. Thank the 12. One hears the strangest tales in foreign lands. I worried about you all every day. We would have sent word sooner, but the Braves afforded us no opportunity. When they fell upon us in the market, it was all we could do to escape. Tataro found her way to you, of course, but we were forced to seek shelter aboard a Harnish vessel. Do we ever see where these guys kind of laid low? Because it's not really a spoiler, but we get to explore the Harnish homeland later. It pained us not being there when you needed us most, but we made the most of it, didn't we, Coldinet? Studied and trained from dusk till dawn, we did. We would have sent word sooner, but we knew not whom to trust, and with the vast distance. But those dark days are behind us at last. I shall be glad indeed to return home and speak with my daughter. Right. We're working on that. What do you mean she's missing? How could you let this happen? She told us to go one way, and then she went the other way. I guess we kind of let that happen. Maybe we could have told her no. But I guess that would have been directly disobeying Heidelin's direct command or something. Whatever. Forgive me, I am sure you are doing everything in your power to find her. As Tancred must be. He watched over her from the first, long before me, and he will watch over her to the last. I shall pray for her safe return, and busy myself in the meantime. For a certainty, there is much and more to be done. The Braves may have blooded us, but the past remains, and we shall not be swayed from it. I guess these guys were kind of scions before we even got the rest of the scions, right? Because we got a bunch of new scions from people that were previously Crystal Braves and then stayed on even after the whole fiasco. But these guys were kind of scions before that. No, that's the spirit. To the scions and a long overdue reunion. Huzzah. Well, there you have it. To the Rising Stones. That tattoo isn't really well hidden. I guess most Garleans don't know what that tattoo means. It's kind of like a dead giveaway for a Sharlean, right?
Well done, sir. And with that, I believe we are ready to proceed.
Let us be about our business then. The next patrol may not be so credulous.
Why must you be so disappointingly brusque? You're not at all as Minfilia described, you know. I don't think you've favored me with so much as a single compliment since we set out.
Would Tancred and Kryl? These two? I can't imagine it.
Tell me, did your time in the wilderness sap you of all your charm? Or are you holding it in reserve for your beloved?
This is neither the time nor the place.
Well, call me old-fashioned, but when I'm risking life and limb infiltrating an Imperial castrum, I like to be sure of my comrades' motivations.
I see now where Alphino gets it from. Minfilia is dear to me. It is true. But not in the way you think. 15 years passed, when she was still but a child. There was an incident at a parade. A Gubu broke free of its fetters and ran amok through the streets of Ul'dah. Had I been more attentive, I could have prevented it. But I was distracted, and her father was killed.
Once again, talking about this event that happened in 1.0, well, like the opening to 1.0, something like that.
I feared she would never recover. But in the years that followed, she showed herself to be more resilient than I had ever imagined. And when she learned of her gift, she did not flinch from the responsibility, but sought to guide others on the path. She touched the hearts of all around her. Mine, Louisoix, every science. In those dark days following the calamity, she was our guiding light, our hope for a brighter future. She had so many dreams, and I would give anything to make them come true.
My apologies. I can see she means the world to you. I did not mean to pick at old scars.
No harm done, I assure you. But fair is fair, my lady. What is Minfilia to you?
You mean you don't know? Only my dearest friend. When I finally emerged from my torpor, I learned that nary a day had passed without her asking after me. She never gave up hope. And neither will I.
then for Minfilia's sake, let us pray that these vestiges of Hydalin's intervention will lead us to her.
Kind of like a bonding moment, I guess. It's sort of, giving you the motivations of a new character that joined recently. You don't really know Kral too well just because she joined randomly in the last patch, sort of. So I guess this moment that they share over a character that you know all too well, Minfilia, kind of both introduces Kral through that window and also recontextualizes Tancred and Minfilia's relationship. At least that's what it felt like, to me. Nah, it's great to be back in the toll. It even smells like adventure. Home at last. I must make my rounds and see who remains. It feels good to be home again. To think that everyone is waiting for us just beyond those doors. Friends and family with whom we have shared so much. Gods help me. But the older I get, the more sentimental I become. Come, let us not keep them waiting. Who even in there? Do we know? Is Ryle there? Of course there's Alphinaud and Totaro. There's this one, who I don't know too well. Is that the Lady Philomene I've heard so much about? Well, well, I shall have to introduce myself. Is there something going on here? Some kind of environmental storytelling, or whatever you might call it? I see, we're just talking to all of them to get the lay of the land of the current affairs, or the current status of the Scions. We know Home, and, right, Isildur, and of course his granddaughter Alian over there. Femi we kind of know, but I can't remember too well. These two also, sort of, not really. And Clemens and the rest of these are new, Aenor and Ochre Boulder. I mean, we saw them before, but they were new during the last patch, sort of, I'm pretty sure. And then, of course, the other Domans, but I guess they're not really Scions. They're just kind of hanging around. Still staples of the area, I guess. And there they are, at last. Thank the 12. Nothing like a homecoming to lift everyone's spirits. Thanks for bringing them back, Homoy. Alian, Femi, it fills my heart with joy to see you both hale and healthy. And what of Higiri? Yeah, where is she? She is well, though abroad on a mission at present. It just wasn't the same without you. Welcome back, my lady. When our comrades betrayed us, I feared all was lost. How wrong I was. We must tell the children at once. They've always been so fond of Hori. 12 be praised, so many are still with us. I worry that Ergmus is getting a bit carried away, but I suppose I can overlook it on this occasion. We could do with more of that around here. Heartfelt reunions with stalwart companions. Brings a bloody tear to the eye. Who are you again? Brilliant. Bloody brilliant. He's just our local drunk, I guess. First Ochre, and now Hori. A passing fancy I could suffer. But this? She's hopeless. Utterly hopeless. Right. This whole thing. With her sister, and Ochre Boulder. And by extension Hori Boulder, but they're kind of their own thing, Hori Boulder and Coltonet. Aenor's just kind of latching onto them. Our favorite grandpa, Grandpa Scion. Are there any other Grandpa Scions? I mean, I guess there's Home, but he's not really a Scion. Aye, aye, I heard it all from Leon. So where is she? If I'm to greet the songstress of Ul'dah, I would do so on my feet. To secret oneself in a ship's hold to secure safe passage to a faraway land. That is a tale we know all too well. When they are well rested, I should like to seek a formal introduction. Wait, have they not met already? Why wait, my friend? Come, there is no need to be shy. Pray grant me a moment longer at least. Though I am happy to oblige you, my legs are rather less accommodating. Isildur has a spirit, the spirit of a man half his age. I imagine his granddaughter often struggled to keep up. He never should have retired, apparently. Oh my, decisions. Yeah, Aenor. Huzzah, he is returned. Together my brother and I shall serve the Scions till the breaking of an 8th dawn. That would imply that there would have to be a 7th umbral calamity first. That's never going to happen, right? Oker, when the 7 hells drove my little brother to come to Mordona? Why, you, brother. And the Scions, of course. For 1,000 days I trained, that I might grow as strong as you, that I might fight alongside you. And now that you are here, I sense that you have surpassed me once more. No, do not tell me. You trained with a Hunnish, did you not? Your eyes do not deceive, brother. I have studied the trials of the brave, and drunk deep of the souls of mine enemies. Even after having gone to the same area that Hoary Boulder presumably went to, I'm not sure what he's referring to, the trials of the braves. Isn't that like... Wait, Hunnish is... Does that also include, like, the brave stuff from the raids, or... Well, I guess we'll get into it. And actually... Was it 7th Umbral Calamity or 8th Umbral Calamity? Which one comes first? Does the Umbral Calamity, like number 7, precede the 7th Astral Era, or... What was the 7th Umbral Calamity if we're in the 7th Astral Era now? Would that have been the Ultima Weapon, or 5 years ago? Right. The Calamity, the big one. The huge meteor crashing into Mordona, or whatever. Whatever that place is called. That preceded A Realm Reborn. How could I forget? That was the 7th Umbral Calamity, so for Ulker Boulder's Ace Astral Era, there would have to be the Ace Umbral Calamity, I think. Which is never going to happen. Glad though I am to be home, I cannot help but think of those who have yet to return. Once we have settled in, I would join the search. We all must do our duty, and I am no exception. Our brothers and sisters are counting on us. An unexpected but welcome reunion indeed, and a challenge besides. It would not do to be bested by my little brother, oh no. Not after having come so far. Alright, that's the rounds here in the Rising Stones. Feels like everything's back to normal, although we're missing some key faces still. It's been so long since I've seen them all like this. Too long. 'Twas the chaos born of my foolish ambition which forced them to flee, and he'll never forget this. Though they are returned, there are others yet missing, others whom we cannot forsake. We'll find them, Alphinote. I know we will. Minfilia, Ida, Papalimo, every last one. And when they walk through those doors, we'll be here to welcome them home. With me at the head of the queue, of course. Oh, is she done playing barmaid over in the Forgotten Night? I guess she is. Give me your cookie. It'll all be like it was, just you wait and see. Right. Tancred and Kral contacted us a short while ago. It would seem that their foray into Castro Meridianum bore fruit. They asked that we rendezvous with them and Ishtola in Idleshire, where they will share their findings. Rude though it is to depart without speaking to the guest of honor, I expect she will forgive me if I return with her daughter. What are you still doing here? They're waiting for you in Idleshire. Alright. Mayhap it is for the best that I remain ignorant of the details. Otherwise, I might be tempted to do something rash. I will place my faith in you all, and the 12 to see her return to me. Let's hope that faith isn't misplaced. Nighttime now. Probably not an issue. If we're going where I think we're going, well, where I know we're going, then I should be able to grab a thumbnail from there. It was rather less than I had hoped, though mayhap I asked too much. How is Philomene, by the way? Enchanting as ever, I trust. I shall have to pay my respects when time allows. Now Tancred and Philomene, that I can kind of see. Maybe. My apologies, I see I'm the last to arrive. So, what news have you for us? Well, as we postulated, there were indeed what appears to be the remnants of an unexplained disturbance in the ether at the scene of the Ultima weapon's destruction. A ripple at odds with the presiding pattern. Though faint, the waveforms bore a strong resemblance to those observed following the destruction of the Isle of Val. Right, that thing. When I believe Heidelin shielded me with the blessing of light. Shielded, huh? To confirm our findings, we paid a visit to the Silda aqueducts. There we detected the same waveform, but orders of magnitude larger, as one would expect of a more recent disturbance. And now it's raining. This I kind of hate. I can deal with the night, the darkness in the cutscenes, but the rain just feels like the characters are maybe talking outside when they should be indoors. Heidelin, there is no other explanation. At least Kral has his raincoat on, or whatever it is. But there is more. When I studied the site where Ishtola used flow, it appeared that not 2, but 3 beings had been affected. Right. Okay. Yet unlike Ishtola and Tancred, there was no trail to follow. Our unknown third party was simply there, and then not there. Yeah, I guess it was kind of weird, right? During that cutscene, Heidelin just told Minfilia to go the other way. We didn't even see what happened. At least with Ishtola and Tancred, it was like a huge flash of light, and then later we learned it had to do with like flow or something, after she caused the cave-in. But with Minfilia, it was just like a huge mystery up until right now. She just walked in the other direction, but there was no sign of her afterwards. And now we're learning she flowed, or something. Now recall your visions of a vast crystal floating in a sea of ether. Though this too is but a theory, studies of gifted subjects suggest that, when communing with Heidelin, we briefly leave our bodies behind. So let us consider the facts. 1. Heidelin interceded. 2. A third being was caught in Ishtola's flow, and vanished without a trace. And 3. Heidelin may have the capacity to summon the consciousness of gifted individuals to her side. So it was Ishtola's flow that did this? Okay, so maybe that's why Heidelin had her turn around to be in the vicinity of Ishtola's flow somehow? Can you just, like, Step into someone else's magic spell like that? You're implying, I take it, that Heidelin guided Minfilia into the compass of my magic, that she might summon her, body and soul, unto the ethereal sea. In which case, we must needs continue our search there. For a blessing, the means to do so already exists. Yep, we're already used to searching the ethereal sea or something, right? That's how we got Ishtola? Kind of. I speak of the anti-tower. She's talking about something else. Not the same thing that we used with Tancred. A Charlian construction conceived to provide scholars of a vantage point over the ethereal sea. Right, we used Tancred's thing to track the trail of flow, of which there was none from Minfilia, which is what we just learned. Though I know not where its entrance lies, we need only ask its last custodian, a contrary old crone who, for another blessing, refused to join the Exodus. Feels like we're always visiting her. Can't say I mind. Master Matoya was the keeper of the anti-tower. I had no idea. Then our course is clear. We must petition her aid once again. If only characters could pull out their umbrellas during cutscenes. But the game isn't designed for that, so it'd be too weird, I guess. Can't teleport there. They all have to have these pesky animations that they have to go through, and you can't just have them holding an umbrella for that. It'd be nice if you could, though. That'd have to be like 2 versions of every single cutscene that's outside in the potential rain, though. Probably way too much work. And also, as we saw in that cutscene, sometimes it can rain in the middle of the cutscene, just because the cutscene happens in real-time weather or whatever. I guess adventurers like this just sometimes talk outside in the rain or whatever. They just deal with it. They're used to it. I guess our next Alexander raid is going to be after this patch quest. Well, after this patch quest and whatever dungeons I want to do. I think that's the order I want to do it in. Story, dungeons, then raids. And then after raids, whatever else is in the patch. With society quests mixed in, of course. Can you repair my stuff? I'm the first to arrive. Okay, they're right behind me. Oh, what a surprise. Well, what secrets have you come to extract from me this time? Ah, though it pains me to admit it, your words strike close to the mark. We humbly ask that you grant us entry to the anti-tower, that we might use it to seek a friend we believe has been transported to the ethereal sea. And who told you I could do such a thing, I wonder? Was it a secret? Oops, says Ishtola. The tower was abandoned to its magical keepers 15 years ago. They have the run of the place now. If that is no deterrent to you, then by all means. Is that all? I felt sure you would seek to dissuade us from our course, given your role as custodian. Role? Hardly. The Forum foisted the title on me. During the Exodus, every entrance to the anti-tower was sealed save one. Oh, that door? That door that's been there the whole time? You're telling me that's the entrance to the anti-tower? It's been right in front of us the whole time. When she says sealed, she just means they put up a no entry sign. That right there. Perfectly sealed. Well, it worked on us. We couldn't go through that door. My role consists of making sure no one with ill intent sneaks through it. Such was the forum's final order for me. Well, I can remove the wards right now, by which he means the no entry sign. Will you be going or not? We will, Master Matoya. We will do whatever it takes to find Minfilia. We'll see about that. You, Baldessian girl, you're staying here with me. I need your help to restore the wards to their original state. The rest of you can go, on the condition that you clean up the mess in the tower. If you encounter any unruly familiars, you're to tend to them. Those are my terms and I'll hear no argument. Well, it appears the mistress has spoken. Lead the way, Komoi. Okay, so here we go. Two things first, before we enter that. One, this is the point in the game, or another point in the game, where they kind of streamline things by, they retcon things to allow you to enter these dungeons with a party of NPCs. So unlike a lot of the dungeons that still require multiplayer access or whatever, the optional dungeons, they added in the ability to go in with the NPCs that are already part of the story. So previously you wouldn't have had Alfinodi, Stola, Thancred, and whoever else. You would have had to go in multiplayer. So I believe they changed the end of that cutscene a little bit, or something. I'm not sure if it's exactly the same, but it feels like she singled out Kral because Kral is sort of a non-combatant, so that the rest of them can join you. I believe in the original version there would have been some other reason why the rest wouldn't join, or they just didn't really talk about it. They just assumed that the rest of the party was following behind you, maybe mopping up whatever you didn't defeat or something. But now they're actually part of the dungeon and are actual active combatants or whatever. And two, this is also the point in the game where the dungeons that we're doing now aren't... Where are they? Here. The dungeons that we're doing are actually streamlined into the main story as part of the patch quests, and this is going to be a thing running forward. It might not be every single patch from now on, but at a certain point in time, every single patch is going to come with a dungeon, just as a, I guess a reason for players to come back in during a patch for things other than story. The previous patch was pretty much just all, story events, plus the single duty that we had inside. What was it? The vault? The one where we were rescuing hostages, but that's probably not a huge gameplay draw for people to come back during the patch. So now they're doing the thing of ingraining, streamlining, whatever, a dungeon into every storyline for each patch, but also having an optional hard mode dungeon during each patch. So those are the two dungeons that release in each patch. I keep on saying patch, but I don't have another word for it. But later, they're going to remove the hard mode dungeons, because that's simply, I think, too much work to create a second dungeon to release every single patch. I'm saying the word again. So after this, it's just going to be one story mode dungeon in every single patch. Hopefully that's the last time I say that word. That's all I want to say, but I'm pretty sure after Heavensward it's going to be that pattern. Are there optional dungeons still in the future? There are. I think they would only be like the level cap dungeons that release with each expansion. So for example, for this expansion, you had the level cap dungeon, which is the Aetherochemical Research Facility, which is part of the main story. But then you get the two Neverreap and Fractal Continuum. If this were a later patch, these two would be multiplayer exclusive, no duty support. And of course, in later expansions, every every single dungeon leading up to the level cap dungeon would be story required, just to pad out the story or to make better use of the dungeons rather than shove them off to the side. I believe the Dusk Vigil right here is the very last time we get a leveling dungeon or whatever you might call this. That isn't actually part of the main story, since this one was just its own optional thing. I only say this just because I like thinking about the structure of this game and the way the developers use their effort, their own design time to create dungeons and shove them in the player's face and whatnot. Because obviously just shoving them off to the side means a lot of players are going to ignore them. I think it's a much better solution that they came up with in the later expansions. It's at least a lot cleaner and it means more people are doing that content, but it's neither here nor there. Just something that I like to think about. The Anti-Tower is the sole reason a Sharlayan settlement existed in Eorzea. One cannot overstate the structure's importance. Really? This is the reason they made this whole place? That's kind of interesting, knowing things we know later, I guess. I guess we'll put a pin in that, if we ever remember to revisit that thought. Long did I wonder what awaited beyond that door. Me too. Several times in my use I even tried to open it, but the wards were beyond my ability to dispel. Yeah, the no entry sign, she was too short to reach it. All I earned for my efforts was a mountain of menial chores, and I had given up on ever satisfying my curiosity. To think that I'm about to step through the threshold after all these years. Whatever it takes. Whatever it takes, we will find Minfilia. Whatever it takes. Whatever it takes. So here, Tancred is a tank, which... has he ever fulfilled the role of a tank before? I'm not sure he has, like, prior to this. He was kind of like a gladiator during some of our duties where he joined as like a combatant NPC. He would always like bust out a sword, and then at a later point in time during A Realm Reborn he would have the rogue build, because they introduced the rogue class and he would have the 2 knives and all that. So they kind of retconned that in for his class or whatever. What is he now? I guess he's still like a gladiator. I guess. Is he going to be like using the rogue animations? I guess we'll see. And of course, Alphinaud's our healer as the academician, basically a scholar. And Ishtola finally gets to fulfill the role of a black mage, or something. She's kind of a white mage, sort of. She has the staff, she has the this icon here, which is for conjurers or whatever. But yeah, she's more of a attack mage, I guess. You're kidding me. Well, shit. Okay. Do I? Okay, we have plenty of those. Let's get that. You know what? That's actually, Komori's going to, right here, get a bunch of gear from this junkmonger. By which I mean, I'm actually going to teleport over to Ishgard and spend some of my tomestones on new gear. But I'm going to fade to black right here and pretend that we're getting it from this junkmonger. In a moment. And back in, I guess. It took several minutes of haggling, but Komori got the gear she needed. What's new? I'm not sure. Maybe a new bracelet that you can't see. But actually what I bought was just all of the Shire gear and a new staff. Plus a bunch of other things that I already had in my inventory, I guess. We're now over-leveled, in terms of item level. Luckily there's no wait time here. And because of all that stuff I talked about, there should be no wait time moving forward for any story quests, story dungeons. It was upside down the whole time. Can you believe it? This is a really cool dungeon. Just like the whole concept and the look of it. And I guess the bosses are cool too. Just a lot of things going for it. Oh, there's Alphinode's carbuncle. Is that a new one? Didn't he have the obsidian carbuncle before, or... Oh wait, this is that one. It just seems kind of white. Or wait, is that obsidian? It could be black with just like a white glow or something, I don't know. We'll see if the NPC companions talk in the lower left, I guess. I just like to get all of their dialogue when we go to a dungeon. Should we pull some more enemies? Oh, I forgot to do flare. Nope, dead before my cast goes off. Seems like we gotta stop at each one of these? I guess so. So what does the obsidian carbuncle do anyway? What's so special about it? Did Alphinode ever tell us, or is it just implied to be like super powerful? More than your usual carbuncle? Should I do single target when it's just 3? For some classes it's hard to tell if you should just do single target on 3 or if the usual rule of 3 or more means AoE is true for the class you're playing. Well, it would have been 4 if we had that guy, but he didn't join the fray until just now. There's actually 4 here. Where's that 4th one? I guess it was mixed in there and I didn't see. And our first boss, a giant frog. Excellent board, still got jokes. Oh, come on. I still got hit. Oh, I don't have that ability yet. I was trying to make cool use of my ability to teleport to someone else and then back to my ley lines. Oh wait, we don't want to be there. I guess I put down the ley lines in a terrible place.
Away with you.
Come on, I just put it down. But that's the fun, right? The fun of playing backmage. Trying to work in your ley lines in an intelligent way, I guess. Or so the saying goes. What hit me? What hit me? Each troll is a frog. How nice. I guess we had to kill the other guys that were turning our friends into frogs. Was that the whole thing? We are safe, I think. Oh my god. I didn't know he said that. It's not easy, being... And then he dies before he can say it. Incredible. And in we go. So this is the inside of the anti-tower. It's pretty interesting. Doesn't look like the inside of a tower at all. What was that? The shore, apparently. And now that we're here, we can actually pull a little bit more for Thancred. He'll survive, right? He's a tank. He doesn't actually use the two knives, though. I guess he can't be a rogue while he's tanking for us. He'll live, right? He's fine. Oh, there was more? Because we killed the last ones, or what? Where else do we use this music? I've heard it before. Is it whenever we talk to Matoya or something, or what? You can handle it, Thancred, right? Normally this is very bad etiquette to do in an actual dungeon with real people. But the NPC isn't going to complain if the DPS pulls. I guess the only complaining they can do is dying. I've got my ley lines pretty close to the tank, which means I'm kind of in danger if they do some AoEs. And more fire, guys. It feels like these guys should have joined the fray a little bit earlier. Next boss is a giant Ziggy. We're getting all the fun bosses this time. Now, how does this mechanic work? Fairly simple. Oh great, he's out of range. Now these rocks are here. For something. Probably don't want to be near that. Ah, no MP. Missed my rotation, I guess. Ja says Ishtola. She actually voiced that, y'all. Quite like it. Vulnerability? Oh, I had to get behind the rock. That's what that was for. I should have paid attention to the NPCs when they did that. We learned Thunder. Thunder 4, which we can't use in this dungeon due to level syncing. How do I... Right. Forgot to eat this. Should have done that at the start of the dungeon. And I guess we jump into some form of portal and we're in the actual tower now. The upside down anti-tower. Very cool aesthetic. Only use it for this last part of the dungeon though, but it's kinda cool. Alright, don't mind us. We're just gonna go grab aggro for Tancred. Oh, what, are you following me? Well, that's good. Maybe Tancred will follow the enemies chasing me. Yep, there they are. This does kind of mean we skip seeing a lot of the area. It's fine though. Alright, and this seems good.
Away with you.
Oh, Tancred's dead. Okay, maybe we pulled a little bit too much. I just thought he could handle it. Tancred's back up, but
Thaliag, protect me.
And now to return the favor.
yes, please return the favor. We're just kind of dying here.
Away with you.
Alright, since these guys pissed me off. There, Tancred. Does that help you out? I'm surprised we didn't have to, like, respawn or whatever. Never should have doubted Alfie Node's healing ability. Oh yeah, the candles do burn upside down, like Alfie Node said. Kinda funny. Almost like they took the model for a candle and just flipped it upside down without any additional work. Alright. Have you got the aggro now, Tancred? I think he does.
No mistakes.
Oh, we're still in combat, so let it give me my full MP back. So I guess mammoths are a Charlian invention if these are like the main defenses. Oh, there's even more. Kind of like it though. Escalating conflict or whatever. Do we know, like, who invented the mammoths? Like an actual name, maybe? Dumping them over here. I guess I didn't put down my ley line, so I didn't mark this place as my territory. Think we just didn't know any better. Ja, says he stole. And that should be that. We're in the upper reaches, quote unquote. The lowest part. We are Calcabrina, adorable dolls, terrible dolls. Yip ho ho. Very interesting boss design. By which I mean they're creepy, and there's also 6 of them, instead of just 1. Tremendous power, says Ishtola. I'm sure Dankard has, aggro, right? So I think it's actually going to be very hard to do AoEs on these, especially as a black mage. I think we'll just stick to single target. Alright, and that's it for that phase. How horrifying. Don't look at his shoulder. As much as you want to. Oh, she's bracing, right. Why can they attack and I can't? Why am I stunned? Why am I bleeding? Oh, does that just happen? I see, it happens to 2 of the party members. We get trapped inside dolls, how fun. Now he's Jolo. Kind of like the frog thing that happened in the previous boss. In the first one. She just doesn't stop. Slapstick. No one look at me. As much as you want to. Oh wait, why am I confused? I wasn't looking at myself. Does that just happen, or was I doing something wrong? I probably did something wrong. Now she's bracing again. Oh, we can attack from an angle, I see. Got it. Didn't catch that last time. Alright, time to end this.
Away with you!
Just about. And let's see what the rest have to say. Right, because she can see the ether with her eyes. Must be like a blinding sun or something.
Hear, feel, think. Through time and space hast thou journeyed unto me, as I knew thou wouldst. We are the word of the Mother. We, who were once called Minfilia.
And there she is. Or not.
Much time hath passed for thee since the bloody banquet, since I hearkened to her word. Mother, Hydaelyn guided me towards Y'shtola and Thancred, that I might be swept up in their flow and delivered unto the ethereal sea. There, adrift and alone, her voice silent once more, I prayed for those we had lost, for those we can yet save. To her I would make an offering. We speak now with one voice, one will, one word. Unto thee we bequeath the most precious of gifts, the truth which lieth at the heart of this world. Thus do we beseech thee once more. Hear, feel, think. Before there was life, in the depths of the ethereal sea, light and dark did once dwell as one. But the darkness coveted power, and the balance was broken. Thus was I forced to banish him unto the distant heavens, to forever remain apart, a moon bound. In sundering the star did we cry out, and the barriers twixt planes chanced to falter. Across 10 and 3 were we then divided, reflections of the source,
each possessed of a shard. Zodiac longeth to be made whole. For his restoration, for his resurrection, his servants labor without cease. They seek to tear down the barriers which surround the source. Thus do they rejoice in their ardor, in your calamities, for each marks a rejoining. Seven times have they succeeded. 7 times hath the darkness grown stronger. 7 times have I failed. The Ascians cannot be suffered to continue. This is my final. The crystal's power is all but spent. With what remains, I will return you to the shore of the ethereal sea. Blessed children, go forth and seek. Seek.
Alright. Did anyone else see that?
You've had another vision, haven't you?
Yeah. It was kind of a lot, but I guess we're going to have to explain it to everyone.
Let us return to Master Matoya's cave. Everyone will wish to hear what you saw.
Still in one piece, are we? Well, did you learn anything?
Probably a lot that's too much to parse. Maybe the rest of them can make sense of most of it.
The word of the mother? I'm not sure I understand.
Nor am I. Cryle?
As unbelievable as it sounds, I see no reason to doubt her. The word's tale. No one was more sensitive to the will of Hydaelyn than Menphilia. And if Hydaelyn has grown so weak that she can barely make herself heard, it is not hard to see why Menphilia, having joined with her, might struggle to maintain her own form.
What? Why would she need to maintain her own form? Are you saying she's gone? But that cannot be! Not now. Not after all we have accomplished. We were meant to usher in the dawn's light together.
She threw herself on the fire to fuel your dawn's light, boy. You'll just have to usher it in on your own.
Must you be so ungentle?
Tell me about the Scions, boy.
The scions of the Seventh Dawn lay before Eorzea's salvation. Whenever the realm is threatened, be it by Primal, Ascian, Garlean, or any other, we take up arms in her defense, that all in Eorzea may live to see a brighter tomorrow.
And that's very noble of you. But in chasing after these lofty goals of yours, you seem to have lost sight of some basic truths. To win a war, you must be willing to do whatever it takes. To fight, to kill, and if necessary, to die. The path you've chosen is paved with the dead. Walk it with your eyes open, or not at all.
I know the truth of which you speak, and have from the first. If the Ascians will go to any length to resurrect their god, then we must needs be as committed to our cause, to unmask them and their schemes, and to crush them both utterly. Come, there is much to be done.
Yes, of course.
Thancred, wait! No, this is all wrong.
And that's it, right? It's bullshit, isn't it? She's just gone. She's not coming back, is she? It weighs on you too, I know. I understand why she made her decision, and yet, every time we lose another friend, I have to ask myself if there was not another way. I imagine Komoi's probably pretty pissed off after processing all of that information. So she's just gonna sit over here in this corner and simmer off for a bit. While she does that, that would be a good time to take a break.